In medieval Majorca every fall, the villagers gathered in the square for the most joyous celebration of the year. Dia de la Sobrasada, Day of the Sausages. Sausage makers proudly displayed their sobrasadas, passionately debating whose was best. But tradition dictated that the winner was determined by slinging sausages at the palace gate. Only a sobrasada of the perfect thickness and consistency would wedge between the slots. And whoever slung the sausage the highest was allowed through the Golden Royal Gate, where they were received by the king and crowned the Royal Sausage Maker. A demanding but gratifying position, making the king's sobrasada in 3 official sizes with a team of royal sausage handlers. And now, thanks to a recent agreement with the Majorcan Sausage Collective, you can play this historic game of slinging sausage in your own palace.
Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. We have been on a accidental hiatus, but we had to come back for this. Dan, the inventor of Bop-It, has a very, very cool new game that he's been teasing for a little bit here. He showed us it off. He gave us some awesome prototypes of some sausages here. So we had to come back for this. We had to talk about this. This is a very interesting development, and we're excited to hear kind of the whole backstory behind the sling-it.
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me back. I know I've been on a bit of hiatus myself, working on a bunch of stuff, and this is an exciting project with a very kind of a lot of serendipity as to how it came about. So thanks for letting me share it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it started off with a little bit of a trip on your end?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of a couple coincidences that happened. There was a project that I was working on with my partners that involved throwing, let's just say throwing things at a like a beanbag type game that I was working on. And it was sort of in the back of my mind. And when I was on this trip to Majorca, a bike trip a couple years ago, I saw, if you've ever been there, there's this everywhere. There's this national sausage called sobrasada, which is also in Spain. I think they might spell it differently, but pretty much everywhere, all the little merchants have these giant sausages hanging everywhere. And while I was there, there was this guy that was like gesturing to me as I was talking about the sausage. I saw this little drawing on the wall that I can share here, or you have it. I'll share it with you.
Yeah.
And it was and it's this really cool thing. I was out trying to ask him, what is this? Because it looked like people were throwing the sausages at something. And I'm like, what is this? And he didn't speak English really. And he's just like doing this kind of thing and talking.
Charades it.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not sure what he's saying, but I think this was something that was like I didn't know if it was a sport or whatever, but then later started to go into it and found that there was a tradition, I think, far as I could tell, this is my theory, I'm pretty sure it's true, is that they would test out the sobrasada at this festival every year that was to basically determine who made the best sausage. And the way that they did it was they would sling these sausages like that to make a sobrasada. Apparently, I mean, people who know sausage, this is probably, they know all about this.
Yeah.
That they have to be a certain thickness and consistency so that they're considered worthy.
Right.
And so basically I was like, I don't know, have you guys heard of anything about this, like in the past, about sausages and how they test them?
I know that there's definitely like a certain caliber of sausages, but not quite like this.
We watch the Sausage Fella on YouTube, but he doesn't really get into the nitty gritty.
Yeah, there's a guy that makes sausages out of anything, but usually they're not the best consistency. So I don't know if he'd win any sort of contest with him.
That might be worth looking into, because this looks like, if these drawings are mysteriously surfacing now that we've sort of opened the door here,
right?
And it's that apparently that the way that they would test a sausage for its thickness and consistency was they had to sling it at these like vertical bars of like the palace gate, and they would throw it, and if it went through, it was too skinny, and if it bounced off, it was too fat, and if it wedged right between the bars, it was considered the perfect thickness and consistency. And so this is sort of, if you look, you can kind of find some evidence of this. So we tried to recreate this, and it really inspired this idea, like, well, that looks like a pretty cool game. It wasn't a game, it was like a contest.
Yeah.
Probably a serious one, because evidently the winners would be invited in to become the head sausage maker of the king.
It was like a job interview almost. Like it was
it's
like The Apprentice.
You can imagine. Yeah, they're just out there. And I've also noticed, so you'll see in some of the paintings and etchings and things we found, it looks like there's kind of like the sausage makers, and sometimes you'll see like a really big, like an axe thrower next to them, like these big burly guys. Because to do this, they had to sling the sausages really. The higher they slung them on the palace gate, that was sort of, if it wasn't enough just to wedge it in the bars, it had to stick, and it had to be the highest.
Okay.
And so sometimes little sausage makers, they were just little guys, probably you can imagine some guy making sausages, or older, and they would kind of like getting a jockey for your horse. They would go out and get these big burly axe throwers, because they had, the action,
the toss,
and they would throw these things pretty far while the crowd looked on. And so I just was fascinated with this 1,000-year-old tradition, evidently. Like we saw, I don't know, it's I'll share with you some things. We found like an old coat of arms from the year 913.
Oh, okay.
and that's happens to be well, let me back up. They called this the Day of the Sausages, but it was Dia de la Sobrasada, or however, whatever the language is back there in ancient medieval Mallorca. And so this Day of the Sausages was November 11th every year, 11/11, because it was like 4 sausages.
Okay, yeah.
so right, so that was November 11th, Day of the Sausages. Started in the year 913. We think so, because we see this coat of arms that I'll share with you that's very interesting, that today, this year, 2024, is the 1111th of Dia de la Sobrasada. So on November 11th this year, on 11/11, it'll be 1111 years, 1111 years from what we can determine is the earliest instance of this sausage slinging festival.
That's lucky timing. That is awesome.
Isn't that so you can imagine why we were inspired. We got to do this game. We got to recreate this. And, like I said, there were some insights earlier with me and my partners on this sort of idea of throwing, originally they were circular bean bags into these slots. And then once I saw this, I was like, we don't need to make them circular. I can share a video of these circular ones we were doing.
Okay.
And so instead, the idea was a bean bag that is shaped like a sausage. And so in our game, we're calling them sobrasadas to honor the tradition. And this is one of the small prototypes that I have. And so representing the bars of the gate, like we were talking about.
Okay.
So what this does is we're actually now calling it Sling-it. Originally, we were going to name it Sobrasada, but instead we're naming these Sobrasada, and the game is called Sling-it.
Okay.
Kind of like Bop-It, Sling-it. But let me see if I can get it to. Isn't it? You can tell it wedges right there. So then
satisfying stick.
Very satisfying. So then if the other team was red, so the way we're doing the rules, as in harkening back to where the highest sausage was the winner.
Right.
If someone were to come in and do that, only the red one counts.
Okay.
So only the top in each slot. So we've kind of reconfigured this where the centers were 3, and then we're saying the sides are worth 2, and the ends are worth 1 point.
Okay.
So you can score on any of them, but only the top one wins. And so if you don't want to only shoot for 1 slot, because then you're not adding more points. You want to win all the slots, is the way we've gamified it.
Right.
But it's super satisfying. You can see the thwack.
Yeah.
And what we've done is made these are sort of these special bars we designed. I don't think you can see it right there. They're I wish I had one out of the holder here, but they're I don't know if you can see it on the camera.
Not sure.
I can send you a better drawing.
Okay,
They squeeze. They're a little bit, they're kind of like if you have a wedge like this, this is the shape of the bar, and it flexes.
Okay.
So when this comes in, it kind of squeezes. So when there's 2 like this, right, they squeeze like that. So when it helps the beanbag wedge.
Okay. And you can kind of knock people's out, right? And I'm sure that would kind of be part of or no.
No, you don't knock them out. You just have to go on top. There's no way to knock them out once they're wedged in.
Oh, okay. So okay.
Yeah, it's not like shuffleboard where you're knocking them off the end of the table. You're simply so if someone throws one here, you can't really go on top of it, but you can go for the really risky shot. And if you go up top, in what we call this crown, kind of the top of this thing, this is called the gate in reference to the old style, and this is the crown.
Perfect. Okay.
And so when it draw, that would win this 3-point slot in the middle.
Okay, nice.
So you can go for this right away, but interesting. It's harder shot, and someone can go up. So there's a lot of strategy here. Or you might say go ahead and some guy goes for the center, but then you go for the sides, and you can actually outscore them because right, you're not going to waste time in the center or trying to take a risky shot. So it's honestly got some of the most compelling, simple gameplay I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
Even compared to, do you play cornhole?
Yeah, we got some in the basement. Honestly, yeah, we got and this seems perfect for stuff like that because the cornhole is fun, but when it's time to drag those out of the basement and then it's time to drag them back into the basement, it is a bit of a chore. This is very portable. This is very just pick it up and walk like it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, and this one is designed to either sit on a table or hang on a wall like a dartboard.
Oh wow!
So it's really this is much smaller. As you'll see, the other ones are more like cornhole size. We've even made a giant one. We have it at 2-Bit Circus in LA. It's 9 feet tall. I'll send you videos of that, and it's amazing to see people play it because it's really like throwing the original sausage makers or axe throwers.
Yeah.
Who were hired by the sausage makers throwing these big things at this giant monolith. It's really, really, I've never seen a game that scales like this.
Yeah, and I could see it because I didn't even think about a dartboard version of it. That I immediately thinking about where I could put one of those, and then also the 9-foot one. I mean, axe throwing just keeps getting more and more popular. I could see axe bars having the 9-foot tall sling-it. And then there's a kind of a safer version of the axe throwing that people could participate in or get warmed up on and stuff. That is really perfect with the scalability.
Well, and like you said, with the scaling and just comparing it to cornhole again, you make the cornhole board bigger and it kind of ruins the game. It's just easier. This will scale up perfectly.
It scales, and what's cool is because it involves a little different type of accuracy and gameplay. When you this one that's smaller, we have it so it clamps onto the edge of a table, so you can just put it on your desk about 5 feet away, and it's still pretty challenging. You know, like if you play with someone, it's like if you play darts that close, you know, it's like every foot you are closer to darts, it gets easier. So it's really up to you. But what's nice is you can play it inside, short distance, or you scale it up a little. You go to the beach and it's 30 feet away, and it's really, you would never bring axes out to the beach to throw them, but you can totally play this. So, and some people throw it underhand and they're successful underhand. So it just, honestly, I've literally never had a game in all my career that is this sort of easy, fun, instantly playable by almost anyone. It's probably a little higher bar to entry than cornhole because little kids have to be able to throw it hard enough for it to wedge and stick. But it's like, it's a little bit, maybe a little more skill required. And a lot of people don't, like, you think they know, everyone knows how to throw like this, but a lot of people kind of like are really sort of spastic. Like, you throw it overhand, they're like, oh, it didn't stick. I'm like, see, there's this physics thing. It's a vertical slot, and it's pretty unlikely this is gonna stick in it. Oh, and then they throw it like that again. Yeah. So
I mean, it was a contest for, you know, the best of the best. So it makes sense that it does have a little bit of a skill entry level. I mean, these were people that were going to get jobs as the king sausage makers. So yeah, that makes sense.
Totally. And you know, one of the things that you can see by some of these shared images, some of these old tile work things we found, is it wasn't just that. I mean, there was a team we found. So then we later found this kind of like a history. Someone did a documentary on this, or we don't know where the video came from, but they claim they called them sausage handlers.
Okay.
The women that were also involved, there was a whole team that used to, you know, handle the royal sausage in order to kind of, you know, think of all the logistics of feeding all those people. So they would make a lot of them in different sizes. There were, I think what the Mallorcan guy was saying was there was small, big, medium. You had to be able to master the art of making these sausages, these sobrasada, in 3 official sizes that they had for different, I think, I'm just speculating, maybe different ceremonies or festivals that you had this, you know, why you had the different size sausages. So these sausage makers had to prove that all 3 could stick, all of them, not just the bigger ones, actually easier to have it. But if you look, I think that I send you, there's a like a kind of a little guy, there's a medium guy, and then there's of course the big one.
Okay.
So that was, you know, we just were inspired by this the sausage makers of old.
So these honestly like feel pretty nice. How will the final ones differ from these like prototypes? Is it like a whole lot different, or
just a little more durable material? Okay. And we are actually looking at like bike inner tube material. We're also thinking maybe like for ones for tournaments, because if you throw these hard, you may be able to burst the beanbag. Not, you know, probably not. Like cornhole is a little less, you know, hard on the beanbag than what this is.
Just the shape.
So we are, and we're a little concerned that we make sure that they really last. So we are looking at, we have mocked them up using like a rubber inner tube and tying it off just like a sausage, because then it doesn't have a side seam. So we're not sure. That's actually one of our biggest holdups right now, is not wanting to put this out and have them break open.
That I like that, the inner tube idea, and having them actually tied off. That if you can get that sounds legit. That sounds really nice.
Yeah. So, and thinking for manufacturing, it's probably a lot cheaper than sewing. Yeah. But I don't know. What do you think? The fabric has a nice feel to it. So
it does. Yeah. It'll be a little bit of a trade-off, but
there's something to it with the sausage masters having to make the perfect sausage, and you're really dedicating yourself to the craft and dialing it in and making sure it's the perfect throwing item.
Yeah,
that's right. It's like they had to make a perfect recipe, and we're sort of trying to make the perfect recipe of exactly what is the right thickness, consistency. We are, you know, in terms of like patents and things, we're looking at ways to protect the sausage itself with a patent on the exact amount of filling
Okay,
and
yeah.
like think about, because we know that from testing it, it doesn't, like if it's too too stiff, it it'll bounce off. By the way,
Yeah.
this is another thing we're working on called the sausage sampler.
Ooh, okay.
This is something that, because we're going to do a Kickstarter on this, that's really the goal, and we are starting June 4th, but we're looking for pre-signups. And this was an idea we had for events, is that you can't really walk away with this big game, the full-size one. But here's a mock-up of this. This is coming in like just like almost like a shoebox size, and it'll have the graphics on it. You basically open this up. So you take the back off, you unfold this part. It would have double stick tape that, well, first of all, you take this guy, you put it on the back. Then these actually fold over and stick the side rails. The top, same thing, kind of comes over. It doesn't have to stick them on it right now. So, but you can, that comes over, and then the bottom has this little hole in it, and you put a clamp so you can clamp it onto your desk.
Nice.
So it's literally all it's just all this fluted like cardboard, and then on the top you'll stick your
crown. That's what I was wondering.
So you could literally have this, and it works. What's really cool is using the smaller size. It totally, like, this is like a plastic cardboard.
Yeah.
So we're just saying, we can offer this, and it's probably going to be like a $20 version of it called the sausage sampler. And in the Kickstarter, if you sign up for the Kickstarter and you do like the top level, you get one of these for free as part of the thing. Or if at a convention, if we're showing this off, people could, if they buy one while theirs is being made, we would give them one of these as sort of
a placeholder.
Yeah. But it's pretty fun. You can totally play it. Like, that's what's exciting. So give a sense of scale. This is the size difference. So this one's already half the size of the original. And then, this one's probably 2/3 the size of this, but it's a lot lighter and cheaper, and we can make them right away because we don't need, plastics and things like that.
Right.
So yeah, you can tell I'm completely obsessed.
It makes sense to me. It is a cool idea.
It's cool. And like, I guess what I learned from Bop-It and a lot of the games I've done is there's this sort of secret formula that I've maybe years later would have analyzed. And that is that why do games, go viral? Why does a game stick around for 25 years like Bop-It? And there's got to be an addictiveness. It's got to have something that's super satisfying when you get it right.
Yes.
And right. I mean, what games? If you think of what are the games that there's intellectual games that you play, but a physical game like hitting a baseball or a golf ball, like those things.
You may direct like cause and effect, and like I did that as the ball goes flying through the air. Right. Like
the chance of going success, like you want it, and so this, the sound, like you can tell, like it's got a thwack, and just it feels really good to nail it. So though it's kept me going on this project is from the first time I kind of had this inspiration coming back from Mallorca. Tried it out. It was just like, wow, this is rare.
Yeah.
Right? It's really rare to have something that just is simple that feels this good. So I'm looking forward to, I just did a test. I posted a video today. I sent you guys of one of the first public tests of it at 2-Bit Circus in LA in the parking lot. It went amazing.
They're having fun. You can tell they're having a blast.
Yeah. What do you think of that video? Does it compel you to, is there questions you have watching it? It's like, I'm trying to just keep it super sizzly. Does it explain it to you?
Yeah, it's like immediately intriguing on just like what are they playing, and and there's lots of different people playing it, so you different heights of people throwing it and stuff, so you see like that diversity and stuff. So yeah, immediately it is that's an intriguing shot that you had.
Yeah, I'm I've got a bunch of other stuff to do, but I'm like spending all my time on this
Yeah.
on this project. There's a lot, and I really want it to succeed. But it's this backstory. What I would love is to hear, look, this is my theory, right, or my feeling, and and other people seem to think it's true. I know some people laugh at, oh, they wouldn't do it that way, but it looks very verifiable.
I mean, when the evidence is getting dug up, it's making it seem like, and that's a long time ago, so it's kind of hard to verify something like that. But as those pieces start coming together,
we could be wrong. Like but I was inspired by it either way. But I'm pretty sure. So I think, I love if there's some sausage expert out there that clarifies this, because I mean, I know that some people might say, it would be something to make up in order to just get people, to try to do something to get them excited about it. But, I really want to throw it out there to ask everyone's opinion. Go ahead, try to debunk it. Tell me what it is. Tell me if it's true. But I think it's too, is it too good to be true? I don't know. Is it too weird to be true? Can you believe it? I do.
Yeah. And I hope to see it as, like you said, it wasn't a game to them. It was like a contest. Hopefully it can kind of snowball, and the top dogs can really make it a competition again, and there can be some serious players.
Cornhole's on ESPN.
I know. Sausage slinging. Why not? They have, and there's pickleball.
Yeah.
Sausage slinging. I mean, there's a lot of things with unexplained. Why do they call it pickleball? That doesn't make sense. Maybe there's a backstory there. Maybe the pickle makers used to play it. I don't know.
Yeah. We've done an episode on weird sports. There's that one with they roll the cheese down the hill and everybody chases after it and stuff. We
should make a whole sandwich.
Exactly. how could you, if you believe in cheese rolling, then you have to believe sausage slinging. So that's my part of my, the side story here is help. Let's see if we can find more evidence of this.
Yeah.
Or try it. I think the other thing that we might do in the Kickstarter is challenge people to go out there, get a sausage and try to wedge it into something, see if you throw it and have it stick somewhere.
Fences, some gates, and see if it's... And last night, I actually just randomly thought of it. I was like, this would have been a perfect, like, Wii Sports, Nintendo Wii, like, mini game thing. And I was like, oh, well, there's VR now. There could be Sling-it VR eventually. And then you could have
VR.
Wow, you do whole mini golf courses. You got to get stuff around.
Yeah. Whole course for it.
That's a great idea. Mini golf, like, instead of disc golf, it's sausage golf.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. That's a great idea. You can set up a bunch of these as, targets. And
that's it.
Yeah,
because you imagine if you're like 50 feet away and you throw that perfect shot.
Sticks. That's like kicking a 70-yard field goal.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Yeah, I'll show you here. I'll show you my phone. This recreation we did of here's the recreation. Let's see. Imagining what it would be like when there's this.
Okay.
No, it's not. It's so the small ones would go through, right?
Right.
Oh, wait, that was the bounce off.
Yeah, two big bounces off.
Yeah.
Two big bounces off. So I'll share this with you guys, and you can.
Yes.
Here's our. Yeah, it's just it happens kind of quick, but that one goes through. That one bounces off, but just right.
Perfect
sticks.
Stick.
And
right?
just a little juice.
So we're doing some computer modeling of real physics and finding out, how to really recreate that.
What this would have looked like back in the day.
Medieval sausage slinging. So here's an artist recreation, for instance, of, like the village gathering around and cheering on their, maybe they bet on who would win. I don't know.
Yeah, there could be like under the table bets going on during it as well. Like,
so that's it. So Go ahead.
I was saying, in your research, have you found any like notable sausage throwers? Were there any like the Michael Phelps of sausage slinging?
Ooh, celebs.
We can only guess. That's why I want to hear from some sausage experts. Like our thought is, it looks like you can see some pictures where there's a guy with an axe, and the thing, like whether they went and found, the champion axe throwers to throw, because the odds of a sausage maker being strong enough, the strongest thrower were probably pretty slim.
Yeah,
in my speculation.
I wonder who really got the glory, the throwers or the makers.
Great question. We should look and see if there's some, like, you just have to keep digging, go deep.
Yeah, there's a lot to figure out still, but that is awesome. Yeah. So you said around June, right? June is the
June 4th right now is our official start of the Kickstarter. If you go to slingit.com, slingitgame.com, of course you can't, or on Instagram it's play slingit.
Okay. I'm
also doing it on my Bop-It Inventor channel to start, just to get people to switch over. But yeah, this is the thing this whole summer. KublaCon is a game convention in San Francisco area. It's going to be the first sort of game convention with it, where we're putting a couple of big ones there. Nice. And doing some contests, and then possibly at Gen Con.
Okay.
And they have this thing called the Block Party. It's a big outdoor part of Gen Con, which is 100,000 people. So nice. We're trying to work out a deal where you can try it there. So if you're going there, and then we're just trying to get it everywhere, like in bars and places, and let people play it and tell us what you think.
That is awesome. Well, yes, we will be on the lookout for that. We are signed up to the newsletter. We are following that, and hopefully we got some, there's a decent amount of traction by November 11th, and there could be some sort of like big, anniversary contest with it. That would be amazing.
Dio de la Sobrasada.
Exactly.
1,111 years later. Can you imagine? Can you believe the odds of that?
It seems like it's happening. That is amazing.
But yeah, man, the history of the sausage slinging might be a mystery, but I can tell you the future is bright for sure.
Yes.
100%.
I hope you're right. I really do. I think it's there's a lot to the story that we're hopefully going to find out, and who will be the future champion sausage slingers of this next generation.
Yes, who will be worthy to serve the king? That will be. Yes, that's coming.
And I'm sure we'll probably hear a few sausage jokes on the way.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to that. I mean, obviously Bop-It has succeeded by having lots and lots of humor about it. So I do have, I'll part with that. The way I would describe this, which is the same way I describe Bop-It and like the magic formula, is it's ridiculously social.
Yes. Okay.
Meaning that it's kind of got a ridiculous, Bop-It always had this ridiculous nature to it, but seriously competitive. Yeah. You wanted to win, but you laughed when you win. So I really feel, don't you think this has that same ridiculously social? People, when they just pick these up to play with them, they're already laughing.
Yeah, and then, exactly.
And then when they sling it and it sticks, they go, ooh, and then it becomes competitive. So that's our mantra. It's ridiculously social, seriously competitive.
That makes sense. Right before you joined in the call, I was sitting here we have the Bop-It Mini, and our Ian, who used to be on the show with us a couple years ago, he set 85, and I was sitting here before you were joining trying to beat that 85. I remembered he set that score years ago, so like it's locked in on like the competition aspect of it.
You just need a quiet time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just focusing on it. Well, that is awesome. We are so excited to hear all that, Dan. We are definitely going to keep our eyes and ears open for this. We are excited. We'll discuss it a little bit after we get off the call with you. Our buddy actually has a sausage tattoo. We're gonna have to talk to him about this. He's gonna be excited.
Our sausage expert in here.
Yeah, we do have a.
Why does he have a sausage tattoo?
It's like a wizard, and I don't remember exactly why he got it. Now I'm like thinking about it, I feel like he's like knows a little bit of Spanish, right? I mean,
bit of a sausage freak.
He is, yeah. He's who showed us that sausage guy on YouTube and stuff. He might have some knowledge on this actually.
Wow.
We're gonna have to talk to him.
You can get on knowledge. I mean, ask him. He probably knows more about this than I do. If someone who's into sausage you know, I can't imagine this is history that they wouldn't be aware of,
Right.
if it's, you know, what we think it is. So, you know, I hope so. But yeah, tell me how that goes. I'd like to hear more sausage slinging history from experts.
Absolutely. Well, awesome. Thank you. That is that's perfect. Thank you, Dan, for coming on. We are going to keep watching this, and we hope for the best for Sling It. We're excited.
All right, guys. Thank you. Thanks. I'm glad you're back. And
Yes, we're excited
good
too.
luck. Hopefully, this launches both of our a great year.
Yes.
And we'll be in touch as this develops for sure.
Awesome. Well, have a go one, man. Thank you for coming on. Been a while, everybody. Thank you for watching. Leave down comments. Anything you know about this. We need to know everything we can. We got to figure it out. We got to get to the bottom of it.
Right. All right. Thanks.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Been a while.
Pew, pew.
What's going on, everybody? We put this off for a long time. That's why we look probably a little bit different than the cut that you just saw here.
Yeah, I'm much skinnier now, obviously.
My hair is shorter, and that's about it, I guess, for me. Not a huge. But we are here. We have to talk about the Bop-It, or the Sling-It, sorry, that is coming out tomorrow on Kickstarter, which is very exciting.
Pretty
cool. We've been just meaning to discuss this for a long time. We wanted to have our buddy here to do it. It just didn't line up because I've been fucking around. But yeah, this is our response to that wonderful conversation we had with Dan. Which was very informative. We learned a lot. What are your initial thoughts on it? Then I guess you've had some time to mull it over. Not quite initial thoughts, but
yeah. I mean, did we learn stuff or did we get told stuff?
I think we learned a lot. I think we learned a lot about Majorca and the Sobrasadas and the modernization.
It's like learning a lot about Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster,
which haven't been disproven in any capacity. They haven't been proven either. They haven't been disproven in any right. There's not like a certain thing out there that just says this isn't real. We're still wondering about those things. But if this is the cryptid of sports, then sure, that could be fine. But I think it's legit. Dan seems very sure, or at least pretty sure, of the stories he was told. If it's not real, then he was getting trolled pretty good by some Majorca locals, it sounds like, because they weren't just feeding him sobrasadas, they were feeding him lines.
Dude, it's right there in the name. What's the most devious mammal on Earth? The orca.
Because there are more than one type of orca. I don't know the difference, but that is like a new modern discovery that's found. But I don't know if they got orcas in Majorca. I would hope not. They would probably eat all the sausages. They wouldn't have anything to throw anymore. But I am excited for it. I think that if the story is real, then it's a wonderful continuation.
Oh, Majorca, not Israel.
Wait, what?
You said if the story's in Israel. And
okay. Where's my crown? Heavy wears the crown. You almost made it fall off my head there.
You can't say shit right. You can't say shit right.
Look.
I didn't make it 5 minutes. Sorry. Who is in charge now?
This is at the end. This will be at the end. Now? Some fucker. No, look. This is at the end of a long thing. YouTube cannot take this down. They won't take this down. I dare them to. But
that's the goal. And then it's me doing this, but Susan's blocking it, so we don't get blocked in the 5 minutes. You're welcome. Editing done. Don't even have to think about it.
Done. But if it is real, is space real? Then I do think
you didn't give me a pen.
That it's a wonderful. It'll be all right. It is a wonderful continuation of a classic sport, a tradition being carried on for many, many years. If it's not real, I think it's still going to be a great game. But
the game is fun.
I wholeheartedly am in it. These do feel great. We've been rubbing these fuckers. But I think it's going to be a big hit. There's I guess we can go into let me just pull up the site here real quick. This hasn't been out since we did this. This is now a new. I mean, there was a site, but it wasn't this put together here, and it looks good now. We know all this basically. We learned this from here. Get the. I mean, look at this. I mean, they made this, but I mean the amount of like tradition that immediately this looks like. Look at these paintings. This is a real. This has to be. But here are the 3 sizes, which that one is a Goliath here. This one is significant, the big one. Now, there's some different prices here. We got the 89.
We're a pro-Dave podcast, so we're anti-Goliath. But those little ones look nice.
That's fair. That is fair. We're anti-Goliath. Let's see. It's called the OG and the Behemoth. So we don't have to be anti.
A behemoth I could get behind. A behemoth I could get behind.
We don't have to be. Oh, does it have? Oh, it's got more slots too. I didn't realize they were going up in slots as well. Wow. Okay.
It looks like up in players.
Yeah, 2 players, 2 to 4, 2 to 8. That's where it gets real. 16 bean bags. That's a steal.
That's more than cornhole. That's twice as many as cornhole. That's an incredible amount of bean bags.
So I guess everybody would get 2 of that. Yeah, block party, Oktoberfest. Or yeah, if you're really trying to get your, if you're trying to bring it back, the royal ornaments to life here. There he is. There's the man himself with the crew.
And we're just out of frame.
Yeah, we're in the background waving on the
posing.
screen. But yeah, check this out. It drops tomorrow. It's very exciting. Now, we wanted to get our good pal, friend of the show. He's been on countless episodes.
He has been on countless episodes. I can vouch for that.
Yeah, we wanted to get him on here. Because he has this, he's got this tattoo that you think is disgusting.
Yeah.
What, the tattoo or what's going on around it?
Yeah, just the leg.
It's the leg. Now, we tried to question him on this, and he said, I just like wizards. I just like sausages. But I was bugging him about it a little bit, and he was drunk as shit, as a skunk, as they say. And he was going into it a little bit more, and he kept hinting that he knew more about this than, we thought. He was trying to claim that this was not only a royal sport, but that it was actually had some magical aspects to it. And he and he'll claim a lot of stuff, but I could see it in his eyes. There was something about him, and it wasn't just that they were glazed the fuck over. Like, there was something truth in that boy that I don't think I've ever seen before.
I don't know. I get that the wizard has some clear Majorcan features.
He
but
does. He looks like a classic Majorcan.
I can't get behind it, dude. I think I would be more willing to believe that Caleb and Dan are in on this together.
Now, I do want to say, Caleb's supposedly in Florida right now.
Be anywhere.
Well, I was tracking him on the Snapchat maps because, I like to keep tabs on certain folks, especially him because, get into trouble. So I wanted to make sure he wasn't getting into trouble. And he was in Florida, but of what it looked like, it was a connecting flight. He is no longer in the United States right now. I saw that he was in a plane. You know how they show the little Bitmojis? He was in a plane flying certain direction, and then it cut off. He is still alive.
What did that even mean?
Going to Majorca?
Why the secrecy if it's so real?
I don't know.
We're spreading the word. I don't understand his motives.
Well, I
don't think he thought this through.
Look, I think there's a non-zero chance that he may have some magical, family members. Like, we don't know a lot about Caleb's family. I mean, you've met him a few times, but they're weird folks. I could see there being some sort of, not a cult to them, but, something a little bit more than, like, meets the eye, which makes sense for the wizard. If he got this as some sort of honoring a family member or something. I don't know. He's just no longer in the USA. He is still alive because he did send me a picture of this tattoo. I guess I don't know. He didn't send any text. He just sent me a picture of this tattoo. I guess someone could have his phone.
Yeah, that's freshly shaved too, dude. That's like.
No, this is the old photo, but I guess someone could have went through his phone. God, he really got right up in the crotch there. Someone could have been going through his phone, so I guess I don't actually know it's him. I hope it's him. I hope he's not getting turned into some sausages or something. That would be, funny. What
an honor.
Be a funny way to die. Yeah, if Caleb gets thrown at a gate. But there's been these photos.
That's a photo. Go back.
What do you mean?
Those photos.
This is one of several photos.
From what year?
This isn't a real photo. This is an artist rendition.
Oh.
But this is a little bit more. I mean, look at this. They're in the gates. Like, this is a classic design right here. This one is not. You could maybe argue that, like, I mean, like this one might be like AI or something like that, but this, I don't know if Midjourney's here yet. I don't know. This looks legit, but there's a couple other. I mean, these are just sausage makers, but yeah, Dan sent me a little hit here. I don't know if he knows this gentleman. If the guy maybe gave him some of the sausages or whatnot.
That guy's got secrets.
Just like our guy, he's got some secrets as well.
No, our guy's an open book. It's been colored in, and there's pages ripped out.
Shit's highlighted in there.
Overdue stamp.
Couple overdue stamps. It's been at a couple libraries. It's got a couple stickers on it of different prices.
Yeah, covered one of them fucking book sleeves you make out of a paper bag when your parents won't buy you a book sleeve. God damn you, Caleb Barber.
It's on the list of required school supplies for 5th grade. You have to have it. Now, I think it's real. I'm excited for it. It comes out tomorrow. I'm low on funds, but I'm going to try to get that mid-tier one. I don't know. I'm going to try to pull it together.
A little plasma donation?
I got to do something, man. It's actually a limited run of them, because I don't know if he actually knows yet if it's going to, I think this is a test run for possibly later ones, but I think it's limited to around 500 or just however many people, get it on the Kickstarter. So I'm going to get that link in the description for it. Everybody should check it out. Share it even if you're not going to buy it. Let some people know if there's somebody with some deep pockets that or somebody that's just obsessed with a sausage. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit. I think it's late 2024, so we're not going to be able to get it on this 4th of July. But I think it'll be around the day 11/11, the day it supposedly all goes down, because it's like I don't remember what year Dan said, because it's been a little.
I thought it was the 11.
Oh, 1001. Oh, that makes sense.
11/11.
That makes sense. What am I thinking? Make a wish. And we will be watching this because we are very excited. We hope Sling-it is a huge success. And hopefully we get some more. We had to come out of our little extended hiatus specifically for this because we were very excited to talk to Dan about it and get the new details on a cool game from a very prestigious game maker. It is an honor to be chatting with him.
Yeah, no more getting high off anus.
Wait, what? It's high on pot, dude.
Oh.
What? But, other than that, we don't want to let this steal the attention away from the Sling-it because this is truly what is important right now. But our other good friend, Jennifer Murphy, was supposed to drop her ninja movie. She supposedly did on the 7th. Right now it is the 11th. And I've bought the movie 3 times. I've been refunded for it. Contacted Chase, got that fraudulent charge put back in my account. No, Vimeo went ahead and did it for her. But it's 4 days late now, and we wanted to watch an entire viewing of the Ninja movie, and I hope we still can because the premiere supposedly happened. There's pictures of that, but the big motion picture itself.
Yeah, our invites got lost in the mail, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up, and it's because I just feel like she should have sent more than one just in case that happened because we are such good friends.
Yeah, or a follow-up text. Hey, you guys haven't RSVP'd. What's up?
What the deuce? We need. It's been a while at the Ninja movie premiere. That's how she talks. She talks like Stewie. But we are very excited to hopefully watch it. We're going to put it up in its entirety. And if she sues us, she sues us. Hopefully not. But go buy Sling-it. Go check it out. Thank you for watching. It's been a while.